what we need to be going towards is a two-state solution with the tallest walls that you can get. Israel has upped its aggression in the Middle East, now expanding its bombing into Syria as it claims to be fighting a war on 7 fronts and retaliating on 6. This specific bombing campaign in Syria led to one of Iran's top commanders, Syed Razi Mousavi, dying in the strike. And it is important to note that these strikes preceded the American retaliatory strikes for the Iran missiles that injured a couple US officials. And while it is impossible to say for sure that Israel is the one behind the bombings, though all things considered to this point definitely point to it being Israel, the case is that US lacks the motive completely, and there's not another power in the area that has both motive and capacity the way Israel does, along with Israel's long history of killing Iranian commanders. And in fairness to both sides, Israel and Iran, Hezbollah has also been firing missiles into Israel, with them exchanging fire over the last couple weeks, but there seems to be 3 different strategic reasons as to why Israel would maybe carry out such a bombing on an Iranian official, ones that play more into their bloodthirst to start a war in the region. A lot of it goes back to the Houthi rebels, their dealings in the Red Sea, and how that's affecting Israel and Israel's economy, with US intelligence saying they believe that Iran is involved with these rebels targeting all the ships in the Red Sea, which effectively has costed Israel's economy billions of dollars to this point, and they're promising to only stop when Israel stops bombing Gaza, which of course Israel isn't going to do that and pays them no mind, and Joe Biden has shown an unwillingness to call for an outright ceasefire. And admittedly, it is a bit more complex than the US just saying ceasefire. While the bombing in Gaza should undoubtedly stop and we need to be the leader of that cause, there is a line in which before Israel crosses that, US should have their back as the only democratic ally in the area. However, Biden's inability to draw that line at obvious war crimes is what pushes Israel to act as if they have no consequences for their actions, because why would they when America is in your corner? This assassination may be a warning from Israel to Iran that, hey, we have the capacity and the willingness to strike back at you, even in areas where you feel like you're safe, and yes, we will hit civilians. So it's speaking out to maybe you want to check yourself, and despite the Biden's backing of what's going on in Gaza, he has shown unwillingness to allow Israel to expand the war to other countries in the Middle East. His talks with Netanyahu has largely stopped him from carrying out these kinds of exact strikes prior to this. Well, this kind of attack into an Iran and killing the commander could be for drawing Iran to retaliating, which then allows Israel to expand the war in a way that forces US to be complicit with it. A couple things important to note when talking about this: Israel has already mobilized over 300,000 troops, and allegedly inside Israel's government, the talks and sentiment is growing increasingly more pro-war. The argument for them being that even though Hezbollah didn't carry out the attacks on October 7th, they may carry out the next attack, so the war needs expanded and we need to hit them before. Show of force, I guess. But lastly, and possibly the most sinister reason as to why they might want to carry out these attacks, is if Israel already did intend to attack Lebanon, taking out Mousavi could be the logical first step in disrupting and disarming the Hezbollah army, as well as its supply lines and other necessary things that would need to carry out to defend itself. So what we could be seeing could very much have been the preparatory move before they do expand the war, which would be against Biden's wishes, but Israel has kind of shown a willingness to go against those anyway, as Biden hasn't really stood strong on many of the things he said, which is why I believe that Biden calling for this ceasefire is the only logical way forward to prevent a full-out war that seemingly is where we're headed right now. Leveraging our aid and our backing the Iron Dome defense of Israel, with them drawing the line at war crimes, the bombing of civilians. Let's see how bomb forward they would be without America in its corner. I could guarantee this would quell some of their aggression if their most powerful ally, the reason they feel untouchable in that reason, and the country that most of the world looks to before acting, told them, hey, you're not doing this anymore. I think we would see change happen pretty immediately. And after that, we would need some real attempts, like not Camp David Accords attempts, some real attempts to sit down and really mediate and grind out some sort of a negotiation, probably looping in the UN, probably having to pay out even Iran, Egypt, something to bring some sort of a peace in the region. It would be hard, and that's why these 4 things are super nuanced, and it's really not as easy as just saying stop killing people, even though that does need to happen. What we need to be going towards is a two-state solution with the tallest fucking walls that you can get, and make it a crime for either side to visit the other side, because it just seems that it's not going to work any other way with them trying to coexist. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video, because the only way we become a society is together.